Reaction to something that we played a little bit earlier in the show, which was one of your colleagues, Al Green, on the House floor calling for President Trump to be impeached. Do you agree with your colleague?
Well, I don't think impeachment is the move right now. I just want to know the facts. I want the facts to be out there, and I want, the truth will set you free. I want to know what happened, what the president did or didn't do. Impeachment may come down the line, but right now we need the facts. So we need an independent commission and a special prosecutor, both of them, because I don't believe that this Congress is prepared to act in a bipartisan, unfortunately, untainted way. I don't think the American public would have faith on anything that comes from the Congress, which is why we need a special prosecutor like Ken Starr was, or a special commission like the commission to investigate what happened on September 11th. And I think nothing short of that right now will do. If we have those things and then we see that there are impeachable things emanating from them, then I think that's the time to bring it in. I don't want to get the cart before the horse, but of course it's lurking in everybody's mind.
But do you worry some of your Democratic colleagues are maybe getting out over their skis a bit?
Well, I think people, when I go home, people are asking about it. This is what people really want to know. And so I think it's legitimate to talk about it. But I think we need to keep our eyes on the prize. The prize for me is to get the truth to the American people. Before this memo from Comey yesterday, we were talking about Trump telling the Russians all kinds of security things.
And on that, Congressman, I want to play for you a little bit because that is another important story. And my colleague Andrea Mitchell put a question to the Secretary of State about this news that Vladimir Putin now is saying he can provide to Congress a recording or a transcript of that Oval Office meeting between President Trump and Russian officials. I'm going to play for you what just happened with Andrea and the Secretary of State.
Mr. Secretary, Vladimir Putin is offering Congress a transcript of that Lavrov Oval Office meeting. Do you think the Russians were bugging the Oval Office?
I would have no way to know that.
What do you think of his offer?
A little muffled to hear, but the Secretary of State, I believe, said I have nothing to say or nothing to add to that. What do you think? Do the Russians have a recording? Do you want to get your hands on it? What's your takeaway?
Well, my first takeaway is when you have such chaos all throughout the country for the past several months with all kinds of alleged ties of the campaign for Donald Trump to the Russians and to Putin, wouldn't you think the Russians would be the last people you'd want to give United States secret information? I just don't understand the logic of this administration, where it starts and where it begins. The Russians tried to hack our election. They're not a friendly country. Why would you give, of all people, Russians information? So they don't want to talk about it. And one person passes the buck to another person. The bottom line, again, is the only way to get to the truth is an independent commission and a special prosecutor. We have a bill, the Slowell bill, which would do that. And I think both sides in Congress ought to show bipartisanship and vote for it. It's the Slowell-Cummings bill. And I think that that's a very important bill to pass. When Hillary Clinton came and testified on Benghazi, they had all kinds of commissions and investigations. This is much more important, in my opinion, because the integrity of our republic is at stake.
Congressman Engel, thank you very much for joining us here. I will let you get back to it. I'm going to ask Margaret and Julie to stick around because coming up